Without a doubt, reading is so important. Yes, if you've seen any of my videos when I talk about reading, you'd know, yes, books, the written word, it is phenomenal. And one of the most powerful things we can do for our children is really introduce them to great books, to reading, to us reading to them. And what I want to do today is just show you some of the things that I do to just help reading come alive, because I think that if we can really just show children how books can be exciting, that they would want to grab a hold of it. Well, in the last video, I looked at bedtime stories and why bedtime stories are important, because they really are. Well, today what I want to do is show you something that I love to do, and that is reading out loud and make reading just come alive, and just how we can just take a book and what is written and make it really just something magical and beautiful and exciting for our children. Hi, welcome to Learning Life. Thank you so much for joining me today as I bring something to you that I just absolutely love doing, reading out loud. And you know what? These videos are also things that I love doing. And if you love them, hey, why not subscribe? Sign up, shoot me a comment. I would love to hear from you. Share it with your friends. We are learning this life together. Bedtime stories, we talked about that in the last video. And yes, they are so important because you know what? We know that really from birth, reading is such an important thing. Even pediatricians, that first sort of appointment after you've had the baby, it almost seems it's and when are you starting to read? Are you reading to your children? And it's recommended from birth because really by your first birthday, you have learned all the sounds that you need for your native language. If you're bilingual children, then you've actually learned the sounds for 2 languages. This is exciting, and they get that through, yes, the conversations that they're hearing, but also from us just taking that time to read them books. This is how they're picking it up. And as they get older and they're sitting there with us as we're reading to them, there are things that they are learning, they'll learn how a book works, how we turn the page, how we follow the text from left to right, all of these really cool things. What is the meaning of the pictures? How does the picture connect to the text? What are they deducing? So many good things about when we are reading a book. Now, there are strategies that we can use, to make reading come alive for our children, to engage them actually in the reading process. And I want to look at those, and then I want to show you how I actually do some of them. Honestly, if I could get paid to just read books to children all day, every day, I would do it in a heartbeat. I just love to read books out loud. There's, to me, just this great excitement of just picking up a book and making it come alive. And so there are so many different strategies that we could do. I love children to engage in reading, and I do this with my girls. Yes, I'm very expressive in the way that I talk, especially if it's a subject that I absolutely love. Use my hands a lot. And the same is I'm so expressive when it comes to reading because I believe that expression is important. I believe that that's the difference really in engaging in our children and helping them just see how wonderful the written word is and how it can become alive for them. And there are some great strategies that we can come across that we can use for our children. And really, a lot of the things come down to things like predicting, what do you think's going to happen? The title, this one is Possum Magic. What do you think this book is about? And taking that time through it, you can even flick through some of the pictures. What do you think is going to happen? Now, there is a reading strategy out there that I'm not a huge fan of, which is they say sort of take that picture walk and that you should be able to work out the story from the pictures. I'm not 100% sold on that because the pictures don't always, cover the entire text from those pages. Taking the time to stop in a book and asking questions. You can do that. You don't just have to start at the beginning and go all the way through to the end. But how we use our voice is so very, very important. This is our instrument. And, we can do different voices. There's different inflection, tone, speed. Think of it really like as your orchestra. In music, we have crescendos where we get loud and diminuendos when we get soft. There's fermatas, those pauses. Staccato, legato, yes. Oh, all these musical terms. I love music too. And I studied that. Well, guess what? The same applies. Let's use our voice like as an orchestra. Like, could you imagine just being at an orchestra if they just played everything the same tempo, the same dynamic? They're just that, here we are. We'd be bored. That's what we can do. We can make this book come alive by changing tempo, by changing our volume, all of these different things. That is just absolutely one of the easiest things to do, but I will say it comes with practice. But we can also really use it to teach our children how to sound out words. I love doing that with my girls, and sometimes they're like, Mom, I don't want to sound it out right now. But I'm watching them just at other times now, just piecing it all together, and they're getting books and they're sounding it out themselves. For rhyming books, I really love rhyming books. Sometimes it's fun to just not do the companion rhyme and see if they can fill it in. These are some great little strategies for engaging our children in the book and helping that story come alive. But really the biggest thing is coming back and using that voice as our instrument and how we can do it. So let me just show you some of the things that I like to do to really just sort of help the text come alive. And I realize that I could just talk to you and say, do this, do this, do this. But really sometimes the best way is to just show it. And yes, I am very expressive, as you can probably see even in the way that I talk when I'm trying to communicate. I'm very expressive in the way that I read, because this is how we make reading alive. So here in Possum Magic, she looked into this book and she looked into that. There was magic for thin and magic for fat and magic for tall and magic for small. But the magic she was looking for wasn't there at all. Grandma Poss looked miserable. Don't worry, Grandma said, hush. I don't mind. But in her heart of hearts, she did. So this book is easy to sort of bring in the drama of it, just being able to get that rhythm going, to take those pauses, to show just the drama of what's going in. They're trying to find the book, and, Hush says she doesn't mind. You know what? She does. She does mind. And that's a little harsh. I love this book. Yes, and don't worry, they'll work it out. But we can use our voice to create that drama. Albie and the Space Rocket. My girls love this one. I do too. We just have fun. It's a noisy book for us. So you can get something like, ah, yelled Albie as he slipped on the kitchen floor. Baked beans? Shh, whispered a zebra. Why? Said Albie. Is the bed pincher nearby? Nah, said the zebra. You'll wake up all my mates. And so we can use different voices. They're talking about whispering. Why not whisper? This is what I love. Different characters. Yes, use different voices. Show the expression and the emotion. Albie's slipping on baked beans. Ah! And this zebra, I don't know why. I always imagine him a bit more British. So he always seems to pop out British. And I don't know why, because zebras don't come from England. But that's okay. Now, here's another one, just add glitter. This one has a line that keeps coming back, the just add glitter. So after reading this a few times with the girls, we've been able to, I can sort of lead them in and they'll join it in. But are your walls asking for glitz? Looking for more flashy bits? Time for putting on the Ritz? Just add glitter. So I do punctuate that, even though it's just written as a straight sentence. And the girls will often join in with the just add glitter. And I like to punctuate it that way, even though it's just written as a normal sentence. We can punctuate to really bring these lines across. This book is also great at the start of it. And this is where, learning to predict and pictures come in. There is a box and it has a bit of glitter. And so she actually opens the parcel and there's all the glitter. And then at the end, You had the postman leaving another package that's covered with googly eyes. And it's like, oh, this one has googly eyes. What could we do with that? And it leads into just like this fun time of like thinking what we could do if we received a whole big package of googly eyes. Lion versus rabbit. Another great one, a lion and all the different voices that he uses. This is where it's a fun one to do some of the different voices, especially when the animals are all talking, and the girls love to help out with this part, but no one was brave enough to make Lion stop. What? I can't hear you from up here. I have a note from my mum. I have a sudden tusk ache. I need to go and shampoo my head. I'm allergic to cats. So you can use like the different voices for the animals, and I am never allowed to leave out a voice from one of the different animals. But again, like just incorporating different ways, letting your voice be that instrument and just having fun with it. And don't forget, just let your children be in the process of choosing the books as well. And from this, you can open up discussions about what you like and what you didn't like. And, honestly, if they're not interested in the book, don't finish it. You don't have to. I went through my life thinking I always had to finish books. I don't have to. And you don't have to if your kids are not interested and they're not engaged. We want reading to be alive. But, if you want some help in thinking, how can I make books come alive for my children? How can I be better at reading out loud to them? Hey, let me help you. Be happy to help you. Just ask. As you see, this is something that I absolutely love doing. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that there were a few tips in there. I realize it's hard. I just want to keep reading books for you, and hopefully one day I will get to do that. And a way that I could get to do that is if you join me as a champion through Patreon, so that we can continue to develop these and also get to my dream of being able to record books for people to be able to watch and listen to. Thank you so much for watching.